Hey everyone, I know this is in the morning and I was going to do this video the other morning but my dog wouldn't stop barking, and if you hear anything, we could be having a thunderstorm soon, so if you hear sounds, it's going to be that. Weird things have been happening around my house, not since the last video I posted about weird things that have been happening over the years. I don't know why the paranormal stuff has been, no, I wouldn't want to say skyrocketing, but here, if that's the best way to put it. I don't know why it's been here. There's no birthdays coming up for a while. There's not any holidays, so yeah, I really don't know. And you can see my dog in the background. So yeah, she's a little. Are you gonna come up? Anyway, so to continue our tour in Texas, this might be really short this time, let's just begin. The Littlefield house with its unnerving amount of ghost tales and rumors circling it is a prime example of Austin's feedback loop. The the Alamo, St. Edwards, Toll Creek, and all those other sites are haunted not by lowly spirits, but my famous spooks. Spooks were once lessons in life, and now seem to be greater than the same reputation in the afterlife. The reason why Austin seems to be embedded with the constant stream of hauntings and horror movie annexes is also the reason why the state of Texas is an ever embellishment formation of legends and tales. Because Texas, the Lone Star State, is home to some of the most extravagant and larger than life personality this nation has ever seen. The Littlefield U.S. Nation Register of Historic Places is a historic home found on the campus of the University of Austin, Texas. The home was constructed in 1893 by the renowned architect James Warburger. It was commissioned by the legendary Civil War veteran, cattle rancher, and businessman George Littlefield. George and his wife Alice would later be recognized as instrumental in the advance of UT. I want to say that's Utah. They were philatelists and major benefactors of that academical. The Littlefield house cost around $50,000 and was designed using Himalayan cedar imported straight from the region. It was an artistical Victorian style. The story of Littlefield and why many believe it's haunted dates back the few years when the house was occupied by George and Alice. Alice Payne Tiller was born in Virginia on April 10, 1846. At the age of 11, a prodigy, an avid painter, musician, and illusionist, Alice enrolled in George College. By then, she had acquired a rather valorous reputation as an artist. Alice was known not only as a professional painter, but a rather good storyteller. She had a charming personality and could carry a conversation with just about anyone. She knew several languages and was incredibly exclusive little girl. This desire of hers to better her education meshed perfectly well with her future husband's. This was partly the reason why they became such a stalwart regiment of institution in the city of Austin. Donation to fund and projects dedicated to the growth of scholarly pursuits, Alice met George Littlefield during their studies at Northern College. By September 1861, no, just before George left to fight the Confederacy side of the Civil, just to fight on the Confederacy side of the Civil War, the couple were engaged. After George returned and was subsequently discharged by the Army on account of injuries he suffered on the field, the couple finally wed. By all accounts, it was a happy marriage, everything running smoothly for almost 50 years. They had a produ- they had produced two children, both who died in infancy. Nowadays, that would have been a blow, but back in those days, incidents of child mortality were rather high. We're talking we're they're talking about 30% people were accustomed to it. It didn't dedicate a personal level of bliss. Alice and George convinced that they could have any kids dedicated to their lives to their extended family. Their nieces and nephews, they ended up paying for the college education of all 29. And later on, they named one such a job in a knight's home. In 1883, Alice and George moved to Austin, and 10 years later relocated in the Littlefield house. Then Alice hit the age of 65. The train hit a speed bump, and things started to deteriorate. How many reflection I saw. In 1912, for no apparent reason, Alice Littlefield developed an unexplained nervous condition. Overnight, Alice began to have visions of delusions of doom. She was paranoid and convinced that the whole family would be murdered, that she would be kidnapped. These delusions and bouts of panic made her prone of fits of hysteria. George, at his wits' end, had to restrain Alice, and contrarily her took her to a sanitarium for aid. The doctor advised him to intern Alice and allow them to care for her condition. And I told him it would not think of leaving with strangers, but I would carry her home so I would look after her and care for her in comfort. For the rest of George's life until he died of pneumonia in 1920, Alice was confined in a Littlefield house and taken care of by three professional nurses. The tragedy of Alice and George seems to form the fact that she did improve. She did manage to beat her nervous condition. When George died, she no longer feared that someone would murder him. This, in turn, liberated her from paranoia and ended up veiling her was her love for her husband. Ironically, she regained her sanity when the person was no longer on board, when his physical well-being was no longer a concern. Alice regained normal mental health and resumed to an active social life. On January 9th, 1935, at the age of 88, Alice died and was buried beside her husband in Oakwood Cemetery. Her gravestone reads, "Beloved wife of George W. Littlefield." The interesting thing about The interesting thing about the ghost that haunts the ancient construction is the fact that it is a rather missing specter. One particular rat that has a unquestionable appetite for each person under her name, Alice Littlefield, is said to haunt not only the Littlefield Manor, but the resident hall dormitory named after her at the university. Residents in the president Residents in that President's Place consistently claim to hear unexpected noises and rattlings. They complain about instances of singing and moaning from the wall. Okay, I would admit I wouldn't be a little creeped out. The dormitory that holds her name is said to be protected by a guardian angel. And more than one student can attest to Alice's ghost somehow protecting them. There are tales of students narrowly avoiding an accident or bypassing royal, bully, bully, bodily harm. That was hard. On account of guiding hand helping them out, it has become a tradition of students in this part of the UT to celebrate an annual season of science. Why is everything hard today? Seance in Alice's honor. Meanwhile, in the Littlefield Manor, students and tourists constantly claim to feel Alice's ghostly presence. They are associated and cold, associated by cold spots and odd sensations in the pit in their stomach. Folks claim to see her face peering through the different windows of the manor. Sometimes she's looking in while other times she's looking out. There are also reports of screams of fright or footsteps running up and down the stairs. The most iconic imagery that Alice's ghost walked about has to do with the portrait of hers hanging in the Littlefield house. The imagery infused with visitors' rather eerie sensation, as if they're being judged or observed by Alice's oiled eyes. No, Littlefield house. I would definitely know. I mean, I've been to Austin because my aunt did live in Austin. I think she lives like right outside of Austin now. But man, the wind. So again, if you guys start hearing thunder near the end of this video, because it is almost the end, don't worry about it. It's just thunder, very windy, and it hasn't started raining yet. But we are supposed to have a thunderstorm soon. But anyway, so I would love to go to all of these places in Texas, and if it's still there, I want to go to the Goatman Bridge. There, I said it. I want to go to the Goatman Bridge. We did have one near where I used to live, and I moved in this house in 2004. But where I used to live, it wasn't far from us. And my mom and dad would literally go there to see if they would see anything. They haven't. Unfortunately, unfortunately, there are houses there now, and the bridge is no longer there. Really, government? Anyway, thank you guys for watching my channel and videos. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I am Haunted Girl, and this is my channel. Until next time, pleasant dreams.